Welcome to Edge Global Technology Solutions workflow tutorials. Today we will be discussing Autodesk Quantification. In this video, we will learn how the quantification workflow helps cost estimators rapidly generate material takeoffs on construction projects to maintain more accurate project budgets as well as to better evaluate the cost of design alternatives. We begin our quantification workflow by completing an initial 2D takeoff using a preliminary design document. The initial 2D takeoff can now be done by using the new 2D takeoff tools directly in Navisworks. To bring in the design document, we want to navigate to the Application menu, scroll down to Open, and then Path to the document. Once the document is open, we want to open the Clash Detection tool by navigating to the Home tab, and then selecting the Quantification tool. This will open the quantification workbook where all of our takeoffs will be located. Before we can start the takeoff, we will need to do some basic project setup. To do this, select the Project Setup tool in the quantification workbook. Select a catalog of resources we would like to use, such as Uniformat. Choose your measurement units, and then selecting Finish. The next step we want to take before starting our takeoff is adding our takeoff categories to the item catalog. This can be done by opening the item catalog, drilling down to the appropriate categories, and then right-clicking and adding a new item. We need to make sure we do this for each item we plan to take off in this initial 2D takeoff. Lastly, before we start our takeoff, we will want to clean up our drawing as to provide for an easier takeoff process. This can be done by navigating to the Hide Backgrounds and Annotations tool in the Navisworks Quantification Workbook. This tool allows us to hide all of the notes, room names, section markers, and more all at once to provide a clean plan ready for takeoff. When ready to start a takeoff, we start by selecting the item type in the quantification workbook. We select the tool type we plan to use, such as the Quick Line tool. We then move to the plan and start taking off walls by selecting the wall line and then the wall line type. We can also use other tools, such as the Polyline tool or even the Rectangular Polyline tool. Be sure to notice that as we are taking off these items, they are being individually added to the quantification workbook as well as being added together for a total. At any time we decide we need to extend a line that we previously placed, we can simply select that line and then click and drag the endpoint, taking it to a new location. One last way we can add takeoff elements is to add multiple elements at a time through the selection tree. This can be done by opening the selection tree and drilling down to the elements we want to select. When we have our elements selected, we can then right-click, scroll down to Quantification, then select Take Off to Interior Walls. Again, notice the changes in the quantification workbook to the amount of walls taken off. We can also switch to taking off doors by selecting the interior door item in the workbook. Once our correct takeoff item is selected, we can navigate to the Count tool, also located in the Quantification workbook. With the Count tool selected, we can then move to the plan and start laying out our doors. Meanwhile, we notice that the door count is increasing as we place each door. Lastly, when we are finished with our initial 2D takeoff, we can export these results to a report. This can be done by navigating to the Export Quantities tool in the Quantification workbook and scrolling down to Export Quantities to Excel. With the report open, we can see that it holds all of the information needed to help estimators calculate the material needed and get that initial project budget set up. Make sure to check out our other videos and don't forget to subscribe.